Hi guys, thanks for visiting the channel. I'm Liz. I'm a part-time vintage reseller in Maryland, and I'm currently parked outside one of my favorite thrift stores. I'm gonna head in a few minutes. Hopefully I'll find more flips than flops today, and I'll be able to share them with you guys. Speaking of sharing, if you guys could share these videos, that does help out the channel, as does hitting the like button or that subscribe button. I'll see you in a few. So here we are, entering one of my favorite thrift stores. And even though I hardly ever find anything when you first walk in the door, I will admit that this vase did catch my eye. The color and texture reminded me of beach glass, even though of course it could not be beach glass. And when you look at the bottom, which was harder to do than you might think because it was so heavy, which sort of wasn't a great sign. You could see it was a modern piece and not something amazing that needed to go home with me. This rock is here every week and it's so darling. The kids in the neighborhood have them here. I think it was something they started doing during COVID. It's just interesting that that one ended up at a thrift store. I didn't even look to see if it was dirt cheap. Oh my gosh. Rocks, dirt, perfect. So I was drawn to these colors and the silhouettes, not so much the price tag. And to be honest, this work is a little bit more coarse than what I like in my pottery pieces. So at those prices with that style of work, I did not see a lot of resale value, but I was drawn to them. And my friend Ron is looking for a particular stein, which I'll know when I see it. He sent me pictures. So I do check the steins for him mainly. Once in a while I find one I really like. That one was sort of interesting, like a Baltimore history. And what trip to the thrift store would be complete without a trip past the creepy dolls, which literally look as if they're in some kind of a doll massacre. It's disturbing and intriguing in a weird way. Every single week I pick up this chicken, and I thought he was gone last week. And I was a little bit sad, and yet I still chose not to buy him. But I do like the colors they used. I guess he hangs on the wall. And we say hi to Mary. She had praying hands. That was a hobbyist piece, so not too valuable. And this little figurine was so sweet, but she had a broken finger. I knew there was something up. Made in Romania, $8. I might have picked her up. I didn't end up even looking her up just because her fingers were broken, and I felt that it was actually pretty noticeable. So if you hear screaming in the background, it's not the thrift store, although that wouldn't be unusual. A lot of people let their children run wild in the thrift store. It could be my teenage son several floors away playing video games, so I apologize, but that's life. This guy, I think it was a capybara. That's my guess. I don't know. It could be some mythical creature. It felt like it was leather wrapped. It looks like wood, and maybe it's wood underneath, but the surface felt a lot like a leather wrapped piece. So who doesn't need a leather wrapped capybara figurine? I always look at the decorative plates. This one was extremely decorative, very beautiful. Sorry, I did take a quick look at this electronic violin toy. Anyway, this Mexican plate was so beautiful. It did have the tiniest imperfection on one edge, and I did take it for a ride. It went around the store with me, and I put it back at the end, which might have been a mistake. I believe I did look up comps on it, and it probably was selling for like $35. So I paid $5. If I'm shipping it, it's not going to be worth it, and it might not survive. So I did leave that behind, and I was mildly distracted by these little seahorses on this souvenir plate. But they had a lot of wear, and I don't think that style is really in right now, so I didn't pick those up to flip. This was super cute. I don't usually deal in items such as this, sort of kitschy cute stuff, but it was like $8.50, and so I definitely wasn't dealing in it. So I make a beeline for more Mexican pottery. These were all chipped up on the edges, and I wasn't really sure what they were for. And I also made a beeline for these ashtrays. Shout out to my friend Jennifer. A long time ago, she and I went to like the best yard sale ever. I can't even believe it was a yard sale. It was really an estate sale. And she got these amazing Copacabana ashtrays that were really collectible. And ever since then, we referred to that yard sale as the Copacabana sale. And we've even kind of used it as a way to like grade yard sales. Like it wasn't as good as Copacabana. So I buy ashtrays sometimes when they remind me of that moment. So this I think says Sprout. It reminded me of Lisa Frank. I took it for a very short ride, comped it out, and it was not going to be a good flip. It was going to be a flop. So that was an example of good from far, but far from good. The flower plaques from last week were missing, but that one had replaced it, although I didn't like it as much. And then this little pottery plaque that reminds me of like the 60s and 70s. I kind of like those more when there's more than one. And I do like unusual religious pieces. This one, unfortunately, was chipped significantly at the top. This glass was chipped. I think it maybe was flash glass too. But it had the Sacred Heart, so I was very tempted. But there was no way to mask that chip at the top. Even if it had been at the bottom corner, it might have been easier to forgive. As a flipper, not as a religious person. Not that kind of forgiveness. And I don't know what this is. Some kind of craft. I don't know what you call this kind of craft. I am tempted to say, which craft is this? I did not bring it with me. And again, this was an interesting amalgam of materials like burlap and beachcomber detritus. I don't know. It was a spider crab, I guess. I didn't think that I really was going to be able to find that market. Very narrow market for spider crab art. So it didn't quite show in the video, but I did like the way this looked in the overhead lights. It had sort of that true crystal rainbow thing going, but I didn't see any marks, and I wasn't even sure what it was. Like, was it just a dish? Was it like a candy dish or a trinket dish? This was like faux cloisonne, sort of a cute duck, but not terribly well executed. I was having a lot of fun looking. I do like letting my eyes do the walking. And sometimes things will surprise you, you know? They will be worth something. I didn't think I could pay $19.99 for that glass dolphin and make money and ship it without breaking it. I don't know if this is a little oil lamp that looks like a wick, kind of. I think it had a bumblebee motif, and I'm pretty sure I looked at it last week, and I might have even taken it for a ride. This was actually really pretty. I think it was like wood, like a faux primitive piece. These little boxes, they always get me. That one had a broken clasp. This one was beat up on the corner, even though it had this cool sort of Pennsylvania Dutch sort of motif on it. And I took this for a short ride. I don't really know why I don't sell things like this. That cutesy, primitive 80s kitsch. I don't know if I know any other descriptive words for that. And I almost bought this box because it's so close to Mother's Day. It's like a classic little cedar box. Look at the hearts. But then it said like, it had the name of some town in Oklahoma. And I just felt like I was not going to reach those people who love their mother in Oklahoma in time for Mother's Day. That lady Susan was missing its little cups, or I probably would have gotten it because it was really cool. It spun nicely and made that fun noise. So here I am, still plugging away at the wood aisle. This looked like it might be mid-century Asian, and then I said no. It's a poser all the way. So the vase aisle, I guess it's vases and like planters, is usually really packed at this store. It was not. This was a cute little vase, reminded me of the 80s, but it was chipped and had no price. Has been really empty. This is a really cute picture. It's in the wrong aisle. Perhaps I should have given it a ride back to its home. And I kind of wish I had bought that picture, and I know I said that about that cherries picture a few weeks ago. This had a pretty significant chip that had been repaired well enough if you wanted to keep it at your house, but maybe not well enough to rehome for a profit. I'm hoping they're going to bring in a bunch of vases. This was like decoupage or paper mache, or I don't know what it was made out of, but I liked the sort of zebra look to it. And they had a lot of modern glass that stopped me in my tracks and then sent me on my way. I always buy apothecary bottles, but only if they have the stoppers. Although I guess someone could use it as a little vase or something. Yeah, I'm hoping they'll bring in more stuff in this. Look how empty, there's so much space. I'm not used to it looking like that. So I'm picking up things I might not normally, but that is actually a really pretty little loaded folder. And this was kind of sweet too. Not quite there. It was actually sort of like amorphous, but in sort of an unbalanced way. Like maybe it was unbalanced accidental. And this caught my eye, but look at the chipping. The flower petals, they always get chipped. I love when they want to sell me an empty growler. This was kind of cute. I don't think it was vintage or valuable. But it was cute enough to take a peek. Especially when the aisle's so empty. You know, you kind of gotta make stone soup out of the situation. Oh, so this was what thrifting can be for everyone. Like, I'm just gonna save money on something I use anyway. So those bubble mailers will come in handy when I'm shipping small items for my Etsy shop. We're in bowls. I don't really need bowls. I'm always drawn to them. I just think they're beautiful and useful, but I have way too many, and I have plenty at my local antiques booth too. This looked kind of like Dansk to me. It wasn't. And it was so heavy that it was like actually deterrent. And more Mexican pottery. Love this. That to me looks like a manufacturing defect, like a bubble in the glaze pot in the kiln, but it was so similar to a chip that I could see that a buyer might not be happy, even if you showed close-ups and disclosed that. It went for a ride. I Ubered it around and then returned it back to its home. These were really cute, and they were $3.50 each, so they stayed there. I probably would have paid $3.50 for the set. They were kind of cute. I don't know what you'd serve with them, but I could probably figure it out. I love recycled glass, so I picked up these goblets. I couldn't really show the footage of me picking them up because the people in that aisle were acting crazy and parking across the lane, so you couldn't get by and giving you a strange look when you said excuse me politely. These look like otajiri. They went for a short ride. I didn't see a lot of resale value, so they did not go home with me. This was pretty. I like those colors a lot. I didn't see a signature on it though. And it might have, oh no, it has its lid, okay. I come back and look at this guy again. And this was so cute. It was like an oil decanter, but it was $8. That still bothers me. So even though like the fruit and veggie motif is really in right now, and maybe some people want an oil decanter, if I pay $8, I need to get like 25 or 30 plus shipping, so I don't know. And this I did end up looking up on Google Lens off camera because I wanted to make sure it actually was Fenton, and it was really pretty. But surprisingly enough, it didn't sell all that well. Even online, I think it was like $16. It was actually a really pretty piece of glass. But I'm trying to remember that I'm not just here to collect beautiful things. I'm also here to collect a paycheck. So I have to make sure I pay myself for the time I'm spending looking. Look how beautiful this bowl is. But I'm not collecting beautiful things, especially when they're pretend vintage and they cost $13. I'm not doing that. That is not my job today anyway. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a collector, but there are moments to be a collector and moments to be a reseller. So we saw a pig just like this the other day. I think this one actually comps out higher. And I do actually like this one better. It's a little more classic and not quite so kitschy. I don't know why. I feel like these became popular in the 80s, but it could be the early 90s. And people would hang like their aprons on them maybe, or towels. Look how pretty this bowl is. You'd be proud of me. I let it stay there with its friends. Just not quite enough resale value, and I have a lot already. The cheetah says chillax, so I guess I have to. This was one of those heavy pieces of cereal pottery. This was kind of pretty. I think it was maybe poorly glazed or a little damaged. Well, I skipped ahead to the purses because the artwork was a bust. Not an actual bust, like, a sculpture. Meaning there was nothing over there for me at all. It wasn't even good from far. It was just far from good. So I looked at the purses. I have not found a lot of purses that were priced at a flipper's price tag lately at this store. If you do shop and resell purses long enough, you can tell by touching something if it's leather or not. This was actually a really nice bag at first glance, but then you see that there's damage on it. I don't know how it got so damaged. It looked like a dog attacked it. And I think this was a little fossil bag. I didn't investigate all the way because it was so discolored. I don't know if it was just wear or if something had been spilled on it, but a little bit of oil wasn't going to help. Oh, that's good that I picked that one up. And this was fossil. I almost bought it. I think it was like $25 or $30 and actually had a gouge in the leather. That's not something that spilled. Yeah, 25. So I had to leave it behind even though it felt amazing. It was a nice size, almost a tote bag size. But I don't carry a big purse and I didn't know what to do with that damage. Maybe someone knows. If you know, drop a comment down below. If you know what to do if there's an actual gouge in black leather, like is a Sharpie gonna cut it? Could you use black shoe polish? I'm speculating because I have never done that. And so I was talking a little bit earlier about I kind of let my eyes do the walking when I shop. I know some people have success with going through every single item, and there are times when I'm in the mood for that, and that's fun and lucrative. But on this particular occasion, I had just gotten out of my real job, my other job, and I was pretty tired, so I just wanted to kind of let my eyes tell me when to stop and look at something more closely. I work more at this job than I do at my, quote, real job, by the way, but I spend a few hours at the office. And this bag was gorgeous. And I loved the way that this one was worn and distressed. And it said it was genuine leather. And I was all excited. And I'm not going to be able to read this now. But I looked at the label and I realized that it was not going to be a big winner for me. So this is the last part of the shopping trip. It kind of cuts off quickly. I did buy a few items to resell. This is an Everlane Oxford, I'm going to call it. I think there's a difference between button-ups and button-downs, so I'm going to leave that out of it. I bought, let's see, this top I might keep. Doesn't have huge resale value, but it's cute, and it's like a long tunic style. Would look great with leggings. Kind of cool for the summer, kind of a cap sleeve. This is for someone in the family because it was the discounted tag. This is Ardent Bee, like a faux satin tunic, cute condition. I thought that I could put that in the antiques booth. I only sell vintage online, so that limits me clothing. And this was really, actually a really cute top. I might keep this one too. Like a sweatshirt kind of. And I had never heard of that brand. And this was Anthropologie affiliated. I think it's Vegan Flower or something like that, but good condition, cute style. Hi guys, it's actually the next day here. I got a little forgetful and forgot to do my outro last night, or maybe I was too tired. I don't know which of those things it was. But when I was looking over the footage, I was realizing that, gee, you know, I didn't really find anything that knocked it out of the park. But I also realized that I did still find things that paid me for my time. I still had a good time. And I feel like as resellers, or at least my philosophy as a reseller is make sure you're having fun and make sure you're paying yourself a good hourly rate. So I do still think it was a successful trip. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Please like and subscribe. If you really feel the need to have a super home run, you could visit one of the previous videos. I had a couple of updates on some of those items. The teapot from 1 or 2 videos back is probably more like a $250 teapot. I owe that to my friend John, so shout out to John for giving me the heads up on that. I had done a very preliminary bit of research on that teapot, and then I did comment on the video with the rotary phone where I was talking about, you know, buy them, sell them, and if people laugh at you, you can laugh your way to the bank. And that particular rotary phone ended up being from the White House and was also quite valuable at probably over $500. So yeah, it's okay to have those bread and butter days, you know, make sure you're having fun out there. Never stop searching, right? Have a good time and make yourself some money. That's all you need to do. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.